Hello everybody, this is Phone to Bob and welcome to another response video. And this time we're responding to one of my own videos, this time for better reasons. We're going to be looking at my 2020 NASCAR driver predictions. Of course, as you know, I made this video back in the beginning of the year as I got inspired to do so by a different video. And now I'm going to be looking back at those predictions and just see how right or wrong I was, because we have now come to the conclusion of the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series season. So now we're just going to just for the fun of it, we're going to see how right or wrong I am. So, as you know, we have this video. This is actually an edited and slightly edited version of the video that I made and uploaded to YouTube. I've essentially just removed the soundtrack, and I've also shortened the video up a bit. This is just so I can, talk and stuff without... You know what I mean? It'll be more professional in a way. And also, just to verify my predictions, I have the Cup Series standings for 2020, just to see who really was finished where. You know what I mean? Who was where. I've also got this document up here. This is essentially just to tally up my points. So I'll add a number here of how many things I got right, how many things I got wrong, and this will be the overall tally. So this will essentially be like. Kind of like how I did it for my 2017 predictions response video, where for everything I get right I get 1 point, and for everything I get wrong I lose a point. So this is I essentially got all three up here, just so we can get a just get an idea of where I'm at. And I've also got this. I'm not really gonna rely too much on this, although if you want to know who your true champion is, I'll go into this in a bit. I'm actually gonna give some of my final thoughts of the season once this video. And how in the world did Cole Custer fall back to oh yeah, never mind. Guy, that's without the playoffs. Never mind. Whatever. Okay, so shut up, Horn. So with that being said, however, let's get into the first prediction. So starting with Quinn Half now, yeah. For some reason, Starcom Racing decided that they didn't want Lenny Cass anymore, and let's bring in Quinn Half. So Quinn Half, for example, I see him going very back at the pack. I do not see Quinn Half doing anything. Who knows? Maybe Starcom Racing could terminate his 2-year contract early than everyone expects. Okay, so I kind of rambled on there for a bit about Quinn Half, but yeah, his season went about as good as I expected. I mean, 33rd in standings. Yeah, honestly, Quinn Half's season went about exactly the way that we expected it to. An unproven driver with little Cup Series experience, and I'm honestly surprised that he didn't get released from his contract early. And it looks like he's still on for 2021, so that's unfortunate. I mean, even though Brad Keselowski came in and suggested that maybe they should demote drivers from the Cup Series for lack of experience, and yeah, so I'm going to give myself 1 point on that one. So that means I get one thing correct. Alright. And now for Kurt Busch. I see Kurt Busch making the playoffs again this year because, again, Kurt Busch, he was really good last year. So if he can keep the well, I say really good. I guess he wasn't really, really good, but he was quite good last year. Okay, so before we go into Brad, yeah, honestly, Kurt Busch's season again went about as good as I expected to. He even won a race in the playoffs, which was a bit of a surprise. I didn't really expect him to win Las Vegas, but that was pretty cool. Yeah, Kurt Busch, he made the playoffs and pretty much just stayed there, so that's another point correct for me on that one. And Kurt Busch, of course, gonna be back at Ganassi for next year. I'm definitely keen to see how he will do at Ganassi next year. But Kurt Busch has also been eyeing on retirement because now he's been driving the new Generation 7 car. So I definitely wonder how Kurt Busch is gonna do next year. I guess only time will tell. Brad Keselowski, he also had a very solid season last year. Got a few wins and stuff, and so for that I see him making the playoffs once again, no doubt in my mind. Alright, so Brad Keselowski, another pretty easy pick. He apparently even got second in the standings behind Chase Elliott, so that's something. But yeah, Brad Keselowski did very good. He even made the Final Four, which I didn't even see coming, but all I had to do was make the playoffs, so that means that my prediction is... Actually, hang on a moment. So, I just realized something. So, he made the playoffs, and he even made the Final Four, but my prediction was only that he would get as far as the playoffs. So, I'm not really sure what to do about this one. I mean, I was right, but at the same, I estimated that he would get to the playoffs, but also underestimated him, thinking that he would make the Final Four. So, This one's a bit tricky. Do I give myself a wrong point on this one? Because, you know what? Yeah. How about this? To keep it simple, I'm gonna give myself a wrong point on this one as well. So I'm gonna bring this down to 2. So, so Keselowski did make the post, which is what predicted, but he also made the Final Four instead, so 10 I underestimated him. So I'm gonna give myself a point on this one, but I'm also gonna take away a point for myself for this one because, well, I'll just explain it. So, alrighty then. So next driver, Dylan. Last year was, I think, his worst career season since 2014, and that was his rookie year. So I see him running mid-pack at best in 2020. Now, because of NASCAR ruling, Austin Dillon still made the playoffs because of his one win at Texas. So, honestly, mid-pack was the case for Austin Dillon for the vast majority of the season, but of course, because of that one race where he actually won, he did successfully make the playoffs. So, actually, this is another tricky one. Hang on a moment. So, again, Austin Dillon did make the playoffs based on one win. However, apparently he's in 16th. That's interesting. But, you know what? He still ran pretty close to the mid-pack on most weekends. Like, if we look at his Austin, his average finish, he got an average finish of 16.2, which I guess is slightly up. I don't know. Do I put him above mid-pack? Is he playoff worthy? If we look at his finishes from the rest of the year, man, he was wildly inconsistent, actually. Alright, so I'm just going to give myself the wrong point on that one on Austin Dillon because, yeah, he was wildly inconsistent for this year. He still was just good enough to make the playoffs, so I'm going to give myself a wrong point on this one. So I better do a bit of some edits with the scoring because I got a bit confused and forgot what I was doing, but we should be on the right track now. So let's continue. Next up is Kevin Harvick, and Kevin Harvick, for the longest time last year he wasn't super good. I really don't see that many competitive drivers next year, so I think Kevin Harvick is gonna make the Final Four again this year. He's probably not gonna win the championship this year, but he will at least make it to Homestead. Oh man, how wrong was I about Kevin? Well, how right and wrong I was about Kevin. I also like to say, he won't make the Final Four Homestead. I kept on forgetting, and honestly, I still forget now that Phoenix is the finale, which I think is kind of a dumb maneuver. Homestead should have always been the finale, but anyway. So I predicted that Kevin Harvick would make the Final Four, which he didn't, but he still made the playoffs. So, and you know what? In a perfect world, Kevin Harvick would have still made the Final Four, but this playoff system is a dumb format, so of course he didn't even get a shot to win the championship, even though I think he clinched the championship like 2 races before the season even was over. But I guess we need to have our Game 7 moments because NASCAR is stupid. Although I'm not really sure what to give myself for this one because, again, he made the playoffs, but he didn't make the Final Four. But how about this? Since I underestimated Kevin Harvick to make the Final Four, I am just going to say that I was just completely wrong on that one, which makes the tally back to 0. So I am now even as I completely messed it up. Yeah, I'm just going to just say that was flat wrong on that one because just Harvick just didn't even make the Final Four, even though we should have, but, so. Yeah, well, there you have it. Right. Next one. Ryan Newman. I almost thought this was Trevor Bayne for a second, but Trevor Bayne is gone, thank goodness. But yeah, Ryan Newman. The thing with Ryan Newman, I don't dislike the guy, but at the same time, he's really isn't the best. So I'm actually a bit on the fence of putting him either playoffs or mid-pack. So for now, I'm actually going to put Ryan Newman into the playoffs because, I'm going to do something a bit sketchy here. I'm going to say that right now, Ryan Newman is going to be, he's going to have more competition to deal with for 2020, and for that reason, I think Ryan Newman is actually going to be mid-pack for 2020. So, Ryan Newman mid-pack. I don't think he even made the playoffs, actually. Where's Ryan Newman? 25th. Oh my goodness. He didn't even come close to making the playoffs. That's my fault. He goes nowhere. He didn't even come close making the playoffs. I'm making the playoffs. I mean, yeah, He missed a few races because of what happened at Daytona, but yeah, he didn't make up rules, make the playoffs. So it looks like that. Yeah, mid pack is about right. So sorry, Ryan Newman fans, but oops, but I'm right about that one. Alrighty, so back at 1 point on the tally. Tyler Reddick. Now Reddick, he's an interesting one because he could either be mid pack or the playoffs, you know. And there's this common trend that I've been seeing with a lot of the young guns. They just haven't won their first season. And Tyler Reddick, he's going to be going into his first Cup Series season this year. To be fair, he really hasn't been that well. He wasn't great in the Xfinity Series either. So I think it might be best to put him in mid pack. I want to see him make the playoffs, but I don't think it's just going to happen with Reddick. You know, there was one point in the season where Reddick almost made the playoffs, and all enough he had to balance RCR teammate. They try to get around him, but you can't pass at Texas Motor Speedway, so yeah, that meant Austin Dillon was your champion, not the champion, was your race winner, and Reddick finished second, I think. So, so I was pretty much correct about Reddick being mid pack. I mean, they finished 19th in the points standings. Let's verify it though. Okay, yeah. So it's rookie year in Cup. He well, let's just look. Average finish was 17.5. So I guess he was slightly above mid pack, but he pretty much ran mid pack for most of the year and didn't really do anything of note. Like if we look back at the finishings, the occasional good race, but for the most part, yeah, it was pretty much around the 20s and the 30s, so, or the 20s and 10s, you know what I mean. So, so I said mid-pack, and it looks like I was correct about that one. Alrighty, so mid-pack for Tyler Reddick. Anyway, next up is Chase Elliott. No question about Chase Elliott. Last year, he was pretty good. He made the playoffs, got far into the playoffs, although with how great the competition is, once again, I don't really see Chase Elliott making the Final Four. I think the playoffs is going to be the best that Chase Elliott does for 2020. Maybe he'll make the Final Four if he doesn't die in the round of 8 or something again. But for the meantime, I see him just making the playoffs, and that's as far as he's going to get once again. So what was really surprised that is that Chase Elliott didn't die going into the round of 8, and he in fact won Martinsville, and then he won Phoenix, which won him the championship, which to be legitimate, but okay, I guess. So yeah, I wasn't even expecting Chase Elliott to be your champion, but that's how it is, I guess. I guess with that being said, I didn't even expect Chase to do so well, so I'm just gonna just give myself a wrong point on that one. Eric Almirola. Now, the thing about Almirola is that he's good, but he's not great. So I just see him making, once again, he's gonna make the playoffs. But that's the best that Eric Almirola is probably going to do for 2020. Alright, did Almirola actually make the playoffs this year? Did he even... Oh, he did. Oh, only just though. Wait, was he in the playoffs? Yeah, Eric Almirola. Oh, they have the throwbacks. Oh, that's kind of irritating to say that. Anyway, so Eric Almirola did indeed make the playoffs. And that was the best that he would do. So I'm going to give myself a good old point on that one. So far, I'm looking pretty good for this year. We got 6 right and 4 wrong. All right, let's keep the momentum going. Denny the Hammaster Hamlin. He was really good last year, and I definitely see Hamlin keeping the momentum up for 2020. I think he's going to make the Final Four once again and might even be the 2020 champion. I'm very to see that. Ooh, you know what? Denny Hamlin was my 2020 championship pick. I really thought that he was finally going to do it this year. And he even had a shot to do so. And I don't know, you still couldn't do it. I mean, that's just the problem with this just one race format. You just... Whatever. This is a stupid format. But you know what? I predicted that Denny Hamlin was at least going to make the Final Four. And for that reason, I am correct. Alright then, we are doing good, boys. Alright, so Denny Hamlin. I mean, yeah, I only predicted they would make the Final Four. I mean, you know what? I mean, him being the champion was just really just an extra prediction. So, yeah, I'm still correct on that one. Ryan Blaney. He's really along the same lines of Chase Elliott, really accepted by successful. Um,
Yeah.
I do see him making. Yeah, I think really it's not that difficult. Playoffs is really the best that I see Ryan Blaney making it up to for 2020. Very interesting prediction for Ryan Blaney. He did indeed make the playoffs based off of a win in the Talladega Spring Race. Yep, Chase. Ryan Blaney was safely in the playoffs. And I can't find it. Come on. Yes, Ryan Blaney did make the playoffs, so that is another correct point on that one. I've got most of these right. I gotta give myself a pat on the back here. I got most of these right so far. We still got quite a few drivers to go, so I'm not gonna celebrate it just yet. And now we move on to the plastic spoon in Ty Dillon. Back of the pack, no question about it. I got through that one pretty quickly. Yeah, the back of the pack was pretty much where Ty Dillon hung out for most of the year. Yep, 26th. Although I did say specifically the back of the pack. He got a lot of 20s, but he's also got a lot of 30s. I'm actually quite stuck on this one. What's his average finish? We'll see that. 22nd. So he's right between mid-pack and back of the pack. I'm not sure about this one, actually. Do I give him back of the pack or do I give him mid-pack? He's wildly inconsistent, though. Or he's wildly between those two. Like, one weekend he's running mid-pack, the next weekend he's running near the back of the pack. Apparently got third. Well, that's a plate tracks, but the thing is, though, is that average finish 22nd is like near the middle of the pack. Back of the pack is like in the 27s. I'm by the logic. I'm gonna give myself the wrong on that one. I'm gonna say that despite predicting Dylan making the back of the pack, he actually ran middle of the pack. So I'm going to give myself a wrong point on that one. Ty Dillon did slightly better than I thought he was going to. I mean, he still sucks, but at least did a little bit better than I initially expected. Also, what the heck is going on with... Shut up, Dropbox. I don't care. Go away. I thought my internet was having a dump for a second, but thank goodness. Well, I mean, to be fair, yeah, I mean, whatever. Right. So, that was a pretty difficult one to decide. I'll say the hump day, but that was the thing. Anyway, yeah. Whatever. That was a pretty difficult one to get to place, but I'm gonna give myself the wrong point on that one. Clint Boyer, he's starting. His performance is definitely starting to crumble. I think now age is starting to show. I don't think he was really ever that good in the Cup Series. I mean, he's only got 8 wins over the span of at least 10 years. I mean, he was decent in 2018, but yeah, other than that, he really hasn't been that good at Haas. So, enjoy your retirement, Clint. And he really hasn't shown any promise at all in 2019. And for that reason, I don't really exactly see Clint Boyer making the playoffs. So he's going to be mid-pack. Alright, mid-pack I predicted for Boyer. How good was I? Need to check this one. Oh, wait, what? Wait, did he make the... What? How did he make the playoffs? I don't think it was that good. What in the world? Boyer made the playoffs? Huh? How did he do that? Wait a minute, what in the world? Boyer made the playoffs? Was he really that good? I guess so. I mean, 14.7 average finish, that's not terrible. By all stretch of the imagination. Oh, okay, I guess. He made the playoffs. I totally forgot he made the playoffs, but... Okay, I'm wrong about that one. I mean, still ran mid-pack but playoffs. That's still wrong. That's still wrong. Starting to lose out now. Come on, dude. But yeah, Clint Boyer did actually make the playoffs. I mean, I probably would have known that, but that just completely went under my radar at one point. So, Boyer did actually make the playoffs. I mean, yeah, not bad for his final season. Number 15, I think this is going to be Reed Sorensen, but it might, it's really, or no, I think Brennan Poole is going to be in the 15 car, but it's Premium Motorsports, very back of the pack, no question. It is Premium Motorsports indeed, but I'm not actually sure. Did Brennan Poole actually drive, like, every single race? Okay, Internet, stop lagging! Oh my god, come on, dude. Okay, Brennan Poole. Did he actually run every race in the 15? Yeah, just about. Yeah, he ran the 15 in every single race and did really nothing of note. Wait, he DNQ'd? Oh no, it was a driver change. Oh. Yeah, can someone tell me the story behind that? What happened at Bristol? That I never even knew that about that until now, but if we just look. Oh, apparently that was his first full year in Cup. That's interesting. I thought he started a couple Cup races before this, but no. Okay, that's his first. That's his first year in Cup. That's interesting. But average finish. So average finish was a 29.5. I predicted very back of the pack. Like, do I give him very back of the pack or just back of the pack? Why is that funny? Alright, no. But in all seriousness, I'm pretty stuck on this one. Because he ran, I don't know. They're like, I don't know. I'm stuck. Because here's the thing. On some weekends he ran close to the back of the pack. But on the other, or close to the very back of the pack. But on the other, or, you know what I mean. But on the other weekends he did run like that to just the back of the pack. So I don't know, man. I don't know whether to call myself right or wrong on this one. I'm really stuck. I mean, it's really half and half. He really had a half and half season. Like, half of the races he ran back of the pack, other half of the races he ran very back of the pack. So, tell you what, because it's so half and half, I'm going to give myself a right and a wrong point on this one. And now, this used to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now it's Chris Buescher, and if Chris Buescher, he now has quite a bit of experience in the Cup Series, and he has shown some promise. So, this might come across as a bold prediction, but I see Chris Buescher making the playoffs in 2020. I think it's going to happen. Ooh, very interesting prediction. Did he make the playoffs? No. Nope. Chris Buescher did not make the... Where did he finish? There he is. Chris Buescher did not make the playoffs. Right? Well, I was flat out wrong on that one. And I'm getting more of these wrong. Come on. I was starting out so well. But I honestly saw it happening because Chris Buescher, he's got a record of being pretty good, but I don't know. It's his first year Roush, so I'm not gonna beat up Chris Buescher for this one. I'm gonna wait a couple more years just to see if he really deserves the 17. But yeah. Well, that being said, I guess we'll wait to see what happens. Next. And now we have Kyle Busch, my favorite driver of them all. My boy! He was really good last year. As you know, 2019 champion. I think to make the playoffs again, or the Final Four again. Kyle Busch, he is on fire, and I don't think he's gonna stop for a while. Oh man, had to say same thing with. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Oh, how wrong was I about Kyle Busch? Oh man, he would go on to have the worst championship hangover I have ever seen. Like, wow. He went almost. I thought he was gonna go winless in 2020, but he just saved himself in the third to last race season by winning Texas. So a thing that I did not see happening. Wow, Kyle Busch was just so bad this year. I mean, he just made the playoffs, and he even got eliminated after the round of 12, which Kyle Busch himself was gonna happen, and honestly, we all thought was gonna happen. It did happen. So yeah, man, oh man, Kyle Busch's season was very bad this year, and I was just completely wrong. So yeah. Well, the tally is back even. I've gotten 9 right and 9 wrong. So let's keep going. Same thing with Truex. He also had a really good 20 season. So yeah, there you go. My prediction of the Final Four is going to be exactly the same as it was for 2020. You know, my Final Four prediction, looking back now, is so laughable. I mean, to be fair, you kind of expected this to be the case of 2019, but I guess this just goes to show just how much can change from one season to another. I really did not think that anyone besides these 4 boys was going to make the Final Four, but with just the way that everything happened, it was just all just rubbish. I mean, that's 2020 for you, but then again, even back when I made this video, I didn't even expect 2020 to be this much of a what in the world year. I mean, heck, I made this video before lockdown happened, so so yeah, I did not even know what I was in for. Heck, even the lockdown never happened. I didn't even know what was in store for me in 2020. But anyway, whatever. So on that note, yeah, I didn't even expect Truex to just. I mean, Truex, he still had a solid season, all things considered, and he still made the playoffs. So, but it's still wrong. Oopsies. So that is -1. Oh no, I'm slacking. All right, so let's 85 because you can. Come on. What the heck? Oh. No. Oh. Okay, you're gonna do this to me? Come on, dude. Hello. Work. Thank you. Gee, I didn't expect that in Google Docs, but okay. No, I'm getting very wrong. Oh no. I don't think I would be this wrong. I could be completely wrong. I mean, exactly 2018. I could be completely wrong, but provided
yes, I was completely wrong.
I think there's going to be our Final Four in 2019.
The trend did not continue.
Once again, it's going to be the 3 top-tier Gibbs guys and Kevin Harvick. Erik Jones, however, you know, he really has not been impressive at all. Like I said on Twitter, the thing with Erik Jones is that besides winning 2 races in the Cup Series in his entire career, he has done nothing impressive. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to the Erik Jones fan base. I like Erik Jones, kind of, but I don't think he's that good. And, you know, at this point, he's become the weak link at Joe Gibbs. So, and I think this year, he's really going to start, he might even start to crumble a bit. I could be wrong. Maybe he'll slowly improve, but I don't see anything from Erik Jones. So for that reason, well, he may win a race, but I don't know. I think with how great the competition is going to be for 2020, I only see Erik Jones being as good as mid-pack. He's not going to do anything impressive in 2020. I was really just right about that. He did not do anything impressive in 2020. And as for his making the playoffs, he did not make the playoffs. So did he make the playoffs? No, he couldn't have. Oh. Apparently he finished 4th in the Lions race, but no, he did not win. He did not make the playoffs. So, hey, I finally got one right. Yes. All right, back to 0 on the tally. All right, I got a thing right. Erik Jones. I mean, yeah, he pretty much made mid back. Did he run mid back? Let's see. I'm just gonna just verify this for now. Okay, where are you, Erik Jones? Hello, come on. Control F, I guess. There we go. Yeah, ran right about mid-pack. Alright. Sorry, Erik Jones. Yeah, I feel like Gibbs finally made a good decision in booting Erik Jones. But that being said, I definitely am interested to see what Erik Jones will do at RPM. I'm not expecting anything surprising from Erik Jones at RPM, but one will have to wait and see. But here we have someone who might be a president in 2020, Matt DiBarito, gonna be in the number 21 next year,
yeah,
which I think is very cool. And with how good Matt DiBarito was last year, I definitely see him making. I do see him making the playoffs. It's gonna be the Wood Brothers' first appearance in the playoffs. Well, I say since first. Well, maybe first competitive round in the playoffs. Yeah, I definitely think that that DiBarito he's gonna be very good. Yeah, DiBarito. Okay, I can't talk anymore. Anyway, a very interesting prediction. I definitely had some pretty high expectations for DiBarito in 2021.
But he didn't make the playoffs, did he now? Oh, he did make the playoffs! Oh, okay, you know, I actually thought for a moment there that Matt DiBenedetto did not make the playoffs, but no, he did actually make the playoffs. Yeah, and... Yeah, Matt DiBenedetto did actually make the playoffs. Yeah, I was going to say for that, I guess he made the playoffs. He didn't really do anything else the rest of the season, but he did make the playoffs, so that is a correct point on that one. Alright, we're back in the race. Okay, then. Okay. Hey, Joey Logano. Logano. He'll probably make the playoffs based on points, but other than that, I don't see him doing anything special, really. Oh, did he make the playoffs on points? He won 2 races before the before lockdown, and then he won a 3rd race in Kansas because he can't pass on the mile and a halves. And he made the Final 4. So I underestimated Logano. I mean, he didn't really deserve to make the Final 4. Like, you know what? I'm gonna just give myself the wrong point on that one because I not see him making the Final 4. So I'm just gonna just give me myself the wrong point on that one. He might win a race or 2, but that's gonna be about it. William Byron, he won 3 races. Byron. Same thing. Byron, he was actually pretty. He was all right last year, and he made the playoffs. So, I think as long as the trend continues for William Byron, I do see him making the playoffs once again in 2020. Here's hoping that Chad Knaus can be a good crew chief and lead his driver to even greater success. And this is going to be his 3rd season. So William Byron may even score his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Will he do it? Possibly. I'm just going to say possibly. And then we have number 2. Okay, well, William Byron did go on to get his first career NASCAR Cup Series win. It was at a play track, though, so I'm not sure if it's entirely legitimate. I mean, to be fair, though, besides the one race, Byron honestly didn't look that good this year. I mean, he made the playoffs for his 1 win at Daytona. So I guess it counts. I mean, I got that one right. It's kind of hard to call that one right because Byron only made the playoffs because it was 1 win at Daytona, but I did say that he was going to win a race. I did say that he was going to make the playoffs. So, I'm still right. 27. I don't even know who's going to drive that number next year. But I do at least know it's a premium motorsports car. Very back of the pack. No question. Okay, so the 27 car. This is an interesting case. I'm not even sure if the 27 car started every race. Oh, yeah, I didn't even make some starts here and there. Oh, jeez. Right, let's do go on a bit of a safari. Did it start in the final race? It did not. Okay, let's look at premium then. So 15, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's a Rick Ware car. Just as bad. Where's premium? Hello? Where is the... Oh, Quinn is dead last in the race. How fitting. I know, where is the 20... Oh, it was a 27 car. That's probably Rick... Whatever. Also, where's Rick Ware running all these cars, by the way? Anyway. Oh, perfect. Car number 27 in 2020. So it actually had a range of drivers, most of which, though, was J.J. Yaley. So... let's see. Finishes... Oh, it's mostly just at the back of the pack, oddly enough. Like, it's... Okay, there was a couple things, a couple races, but... Yeah, we're mostly just at the back of the pack, not necessarily the very back of the pack. Like, it wasn't, like, in the 37s. Like, that did happen, occasionally, although... I think there was only like 36 cars in most of the races. Okay, it's actually kind of hard to call this one because, man, let's look at an interesting source. So NR 2003. This. So if we, whoops, wrong one. Oh, whoops. If we go to the Weebly and then we go to paint schemes, this actually tells us how many cars there were in every single race. Let's see. So, okay, so there's every single race. That's actually quite interesting, by the way. Oh wait, someone made a Chase Elliott's championship car. With the okay, I'll have to look at that later. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like there was at least 38 cars in every single race of the season. So by that logic, they ran just the back of the pack at the absolute worst. Although, you know, I only had like 4 drivers in the end of the day at the back of the pack. Dang, it's hard to call this one. What do I do about this one? Because here's the thing. Very back of the pack, I'm talking like the 30s and stuff. So, I don't really know about this one, but I'm gonna have to give it back of the pack. Like I said, I didn't predict very back of the pack, but it did finish slightly better than very back of the pack. So you know what? I'm gonna give him back of the pack. I'm gonna give myself a wrong point on that one. The 27 car did slightly better in 2020 than I expected it to, and so we're back at 0. All right then. So there you have it. Corey LaJoy. You know the thing about, well, I say that, only enough, this year, Stewart Racing is going to have, no, not Stewart Racing, Go Fast Racing is going to have an alliance, with Stewart Racing, so, I guess the up thing about Go Fast Racing, they're going to have better equipment than they have before, and Corey LaJoy, has proven that he's actually a pretty good driver, and, you know, as Slap Shoes once said, you know, maybe Corey LaJoy's the go and we haven't realized it yet, so, but at the same time, the competition might be too great for Corey LaJoy in 2020, so I see him just running mid-pack at best. Mid-pack at best. That's an interesting one. Let's do a little bit more digging. How did Corey LaJoy do at the end of the day? Let's see. Corey LaJoy. What was his finishes like? Hello? Come on. So got an average finish of 25.6. And his finishes were, let's see, so he finished 30th in points. He ran, yeah, pretty mid-pack. And this one's tough to call. Because it was really like half and half. Again. I mean, according to the point standings, or according to the average 25th point, 25.6, so. Actually, that's like between mid-pack and back of the pack. He was right in between. Like, let's look. Oh, they ran more. We ran back at the pack more often than not. Did he? Come on, let's see. So, let's take a closer look at this. So he ran, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a tough call. I don't know, do I say it right on this one or wrong on this one? Like, I predicted mid-pack, but he ran slightly worse than that. He ran back of the pack, so, I don't really know. Do I give him, I really don't know. Do I give him, what do I give him? He was so far in between. I really should have had more logic for this one. It's tough. I don't really know. I really don't know. 25.6 is the average finish. What do I give him? Do I give him mid pack or back of the pack? It was really half and half. Although by logic of the average finish, 25.6 is technically back of, it's like mid pack. Yeah, he didn't really, I don't know, the average finish says it all, I guess. But at the same time, I wanted to base it off on how we did on most weekends. So I really don't know. I'm stuck on this one. Although I guess the plate race is kind of... did he really? Let's see. Well, we need to come to account at some point in this video, so... You know what? I'm gonna say that I'm right and wrong on this one. I really don't know what to put it. So I'm gonna just say it's a tie on that one. So I'm gonna say I'm right and wrong on that one, and just leave it at that. And now we have I think this is Michael McDowell.
Yes, it's Michael McDowell.
Yeah, it's from Motorsports. I don't seem to do anything impressive. He's gonna be around there. Back at the pack for whatchamajigga. Michael McDowell. Yeah. Oh, right. I need to go back a bit. So Michael McDowell, where did he finish? I didn't really have any expertise for Michael McDowell. So let's see. Come on, dude. Where is thingy? Oh, here it is. Oh, he finished 8th at Fontana, aka Auto Club. Finished 3rd at Charlotte, apparently. Yeah, a couple good finishes here and there, but he ran. Let's see. So produced mid pack, or back of the pack. I ran mid pack for most of the year. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say this one's more straightforward. He did run mid pack for most of the year. There was some bad races, but yeah, the majority of the races are mid pack for McDowell. So let's look at the average finish. Well, it's been here for 13 years, dang. Yeah, 20.9, that's average finish. Alright, you know what? Michael McDowell, he did better than I expected, so I'm going to just say them wrong on that one. Oh, that means that now my tally is -1, but, I guess it still counts. Come on, dude. Okay. You know, I like how the number 36 is in this tier list. Yeah. Yet the number 36 is even going to be around next year because they axed that car after Matt Tiff decided he wasn't going to beat full-time in 2020, but you know what, it's here. I'm just going to put it back in the pack. Let's just pretend that I said that we can pretend that Matt Tiff is still in the cup field, and yet, you know, he won't be. But the thing is that Matt Tiff, he was so irrelevant last year. So, yeah. And here we So, the Matt Tiff did not race this year, though I think the 36 car did race once in the Daytona 500. So let's go to here. Yeah, I am very sure that the 36 car did run once. So let's.
You wanna go get lunch, okay?
Uh-huh.
Alright.
Yeah. So if we look at the Daytona 500, come on, race. I'm pretty sure the 36 car ran once. Yes, it did. David Regan ran it. Okay, yeah, okay. So it did run one race in 2020. I don't know. Do I? Wait, what? I swear, Rick Weir owns everything. But Reagan, he ran the 36 car in one race, and it was a Daytona 500, and he ran 4th. So what does that mean? Do I give myself a free point on this one? Like, you know what? How about this? I was like wrong on this one though, so that's tricky. Do I even count this one? You know, you could spin it in any way possible. Like, I mostly did these numbers based off of than running the full season. But the Thursday's car only ran one race, despite being in the predictions list. So I don't think I'm even gonna count that one because it would just be silly to just say that I'm wrong just because the Thursday's car finished good in one single race. So, I am actually not going to give myself any right or wrong points for this one at all because again the car only ran one race and that wasn't even like a serious prediction. So you know what, I'm not even gonna count that one. We have the 37 now. Last year this was Chris Buescher and only this year it's gonna be Ryan Preece. I'm so used to seeing Ryan Preece in number 47, but this year he's gonna be driving the 37. I really like Ryan Preece, but it's JDG Daugherty Racing, which is not the best team in the garage. But at the same time, he has proven to be good. So, well, at least pretty good in the past. So, I see Ryan Preece running mid-pack at best. I wish I could put him in the playoffs, but the team that he's driving for just isn't that good. Another 38 of John. So, very interesting note for Ryan Preece. I put him at the back of the mid-pack, and I mean, yeah, he had horrible luck this year, but let's just check to make sure. So, Preece finished 29 points, and he got an average finish of... Come on. 24.3, right about mid-pack. Yeah, right about mid-pack. Let's see. So I finished... yeah, he ran about mid-pack on most good weekends, so... It was also pretty half and half, but you know what? I did predict specifically mid-pack, and he basically ran mid-pack for most of the year, so... I'm gonna give myself the right point on that one. Man, this tally has really been bouncing back. Like it's like I'm both right and wrong. I got a lot of predictions wrong, but I also got a lot of predictions right. Very into that thing, isn't it? Okay. The team that's driving for just isn't that good. John Hunter Nemechek. Another 30 of John Hunter Nemechek. In the 3 starts that he was in last year, he wasn't actually too bad for the equipment that he was driving. But the truth is, I don't know. I just don't see him doing that good. So I'll probably back at the pack with these guys. I did say back at the pack for John Hunter Nemechek. I did kind of underestimate him, I'll be honest. So let's see where he actually finished. John Hunter Nemechek. I finished 27 points because it's still, I mean, it's what you expect for a front row car. So I did say back at the pack. I mean, yeah, he ran back of the pack. He did run mid-pack more often than not. I'm going to give myself the wrong point on that one because he did run mid-pack more often than not, so I am wrong on that one, which now we're back to -1. So this is going to keep bouncing around in it. 41. Now, last year was Daniel Suarez. At this moment, we have no idea where Daniel Suarez is going to be for 2020. He probably might be going down to the Xfinity Series again. I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, just so you know, this video was actually recorded before the Daniel Suarez to Gaunt Brothers Racing announcement. Just want to throw it out there. But anyway, going back to Cole Custer. He is now the driver of the 41 for next year. Yeah, driving the same pace that Daniel Suarez drove, which is, well, for the Haas car anyway, which is fine, I guess. And Cole Custer. Now, he is driving the 41 car. However, I think the 41 car may have actually been limited by Daniel Suarez's abilities to drive last year. So I'm thinking that if everything goes to plan, Cole Custer will make it to the playoffs based purely on points. He's not going to win a race, but he will make it in on points. You know, that's very interesting because Custer did indeed make the playoffs, but that was based on a win. Like I just said to myself, I thought I was going to make it on points, but no. He made the playoffs, but based on a win. Not points. A win. So, especially considering how good his Xfinity run was last year. So, Custer, I still got that one correct, because he still made the playoffs. Not in a way that I was expecting him to, but he still made it, so that is just going to even it out. So, yeah, but just out of curiosity. Okay, so how good was he? So according to the non-playoff standings, he would have made the playoffs though if it wasn't for his win. So I am correct on that prediction, but all because Cole Custer won Kentucky. So thank you, Custer, for winning that race, making that the only reason why he got my prediction correct. I didn't even expect Cole Custer. I mean, to be fair, on most weekends he wasn't even running that far up front. But he happened to be there in the right place at the right time when I came to the Kentucky race, and he capitalized it and won the craziest finish to the Kentucky race I've ever seen. That being said, I'm not really gonna miss Kentucky, but yeah, nice to see Custer win the final race there in the most insane fashion ever. All right. Yes, Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace. I want to see this team successful, but I don't see it happening. Mid-pack at best. Kyle. Mid-pack at best. I think that was about right. Like, let's look at Bubba Wallace. Where's Bubba Wallace? Yeah, I ran right about right. Yeah. Yeah, pretty sure ran mid-pack for most of the weekend. Yeah, about 21st in the 20s and stuff. And really finishes from the year. Just say like he was actually a wild season. Got a bunch of different finishes, but I'd say mid-pack. That's where he was for most of the year. So I am correct on that one. And hey, we're finally getting into the one. All right, so we're actually getting somewhere now. Nice. Larson. Bubba Wallace. I want to see this team successful, but I don't see it happening. Mid-pack at best. Kyle Larson. There's really no question about Kyle. So this is an interesting one. So as you know, Kyle Larson did start the first four races of the year, but then of course he got fired from Chip Ganassi for a reason that you would probably already know if you followed NASCAR close enough. So while I'm gonna say Kyle Larson the 42. I am instead going to be deciding this based on how Matt Kenseth did, because of course Kenseth did start all the rest of the race in the 42 cars. So for this one we will not be seeing how great. Well, I mean this is gonna be a little bit skewed now, because of course I was specifically talking Kyle Larson. But either way, I guess we will see how I put the 42, and then we will see how close it was to how well Matt Kenseth actually did, and we'll decide from there. Kyle Larson, I mean. The thing about Kyle Larson is along the same lines as these guys, some of these guys anyway. He's good but not great. So I see Kyle Larson only getting up to the playoffs either by a single win or based on points. And here at the 47, you know what? I thought that Matt Kenseth was gonna be able to do the same thing, but no. Oh my goodness, Kenseth's season was a disaster. Like honestly, when I heard that Kenseth was coming back to Chip Ganassi Racing, I was actually kind of excited. And then we saw how season went, and it was absolutely, completely, and utterly rubbish. So yeah, Matt Kenseth, it kind of stings, but yeah, Kenseth just wasn't that good this year. I mean, yeah, he finished. Apparently, got second at Indy. Well, yeah, I remember that race now. So if we look here, well, that was his 22nd. That was his 20th full year in Cup, apparently. Oh, never mind. So, in the end, though, we got an average finish of 21.1 in 2020. Honestly, I thought that Matt Kenseth could have been as good as Kyle Larson, but no. So that prediction is wrong. So the tally's now back to 0. I really got split on these guys though. Like I predicted a lot of stuff right, but also a lot of stuff wrong. Of Stenhouse. I so thought that when Chris Buescher went over to Roush Family Racing, I thought that Stenhouse would be gone, but no. He's going to literally the same team that Chris Buescher came from, which is going to be JD Daugherty Racing, but knowing Stenhouse's abilities and a slightly worse team. Back at the back. So, I honestly still don't know what was the thinking behind JG Daugherty Racing. It's like Chris Buescher leaves to go to Roush, so they bring in Stenhouse, who's a driver that is actually less good than Chris Buescher. So, let's look at Stenhouse's stats. He didn't even do anything of note this year, to be honest. I mean, he almost won Talladega, the spring Talladega race, but other than that, he just never really was relevant this year. Like, if we look at his standings, so he averaged 22.6, which is still better than what I was expecting, still better than back of the pack, but just still wasn't that good. I mean, although And he had a couple good races here and there, but all things considered, Ollie was wildly inconsistent this year. It's kind of half and half. The average finish is 22.6. I did almost win Talladega in the spring. But on most weekends, and it's kind of split on this one, although he ran mid-pack more often than not. All in the later race of the year he began to suck a bit, but yeah, you know what? He ran mid-pack more often than not, so I will say this. While still is a very good driver, I did actually underestimate him, so I'll give myself a wrong point on... Ow. I will give myself a wrong point on that one. Alright. Here's Mr. Jimmy Johnson. The guy that everyone seems to love now. Well, I say everyone, really. I shouldn't say everyone. Even still, there are some people that still don't like Jimmy Johnson, say he's washed up and stuff. Jimmy Johnson, he's had his time. He's been good, but I think it's safe to say that Jimmy Johnson is past his prime. And, there is somebody behind Jimmy Johnson for the 2020 season, but I don't see him doing anything impressive for 2020. I'm sorry to say. It's just going to be... It might be worse than 2019, so for that reason, mid-pack for Jimmy Johnson. I'm sorry to Jimmy Johnson's fan base, but I don't see him doing that good next year. You know what? There were a couple times this year where Jimmy Johnson looked good. I mean, when we came back from lockdown, you had him almost winning the stage number 1 in the first race back, the Darlington number 1 race. Then he finished second at Charlotte before getting busted in test inspection. And there were a number of points after that where Jimmy Johnson looked kind of good. But just all that, and he still couldn't make the playoffs. So I purchased mid-pack. I think I'm about right on this one. Let's take a look and see. Okay, look at these stats for Jimmy. Oh, look at him. He looks a little bit frowny now. Because, I can't blame him. His last 3 seasons have been trash. I went to race 2007, apparently. Interesting. Anyway, so 2020, though. 17.3. Yeah, that's right about mid-pack. Because I did say mid-pack specifically. Not making the playoffs. Mid-pack. Although, you know what? I'd say that Jimmy Johnson was the best of the mid-pack. But I did say mid-pack. I did say mid-pack specifically, so I'm going to get myself the right point on that one. He almost made the playoffs, so I'll give him that, but I still got as good as mid-pack, so... Yep, I am right on that one, so we're tied once again. At all. Now, 49. There's an interesting one. I have no idea who's going to be driving this one, but it's a premium sports car, so very back of the pack. Yeah, so now at 50. So the 49, did the 49 even make any starts this year? Like, is this just going to be just a wrong prediction? Also, if it's another Rick Ware car, I'm going to be a little bit upset. Come on, where is, might as well look for JJ Yaley. Oh, JJ didn't even run for points apparently, but anyway, Rick Ware. Did they field a 42 car? 49 car? Oh, it doesn't say. Come on. I'm sure for a fact that there was a 49 car in this thingy-majiggy. Okay, so took a bit of a pause in this video because it's having a lunch break. But anyway, so I did some digging on the 49, and it turns out that the 49, I thought for a moment that it didn't actually make any Cup Series starts, but no, it has made. It did make 3 Cup Series starts, all with Chad Fincham, and he finished in 37th. But It's kind of on the same realm as the number 36, where I didn't count it because I only started one race, and that was a Daytona 500. However, the 49, it did start 3 races, and it ran at the back of the pack just as I expected to. So, I don't know. I'm really not sure for this one. Because again, it was only for 3 races, but yeah, I can hardly call it a point because it just yeah. I mean, Chad Fincham, he did as badly as he thought he would have. I mean, it's a premium sports car, so. But on that note, I don't think I'm going to count this one because it just seems a little bit odd to get myself just the right point, all because someone did poorly in 3 races. So, and then again, most of the other numbers that may start since you're not even on this thingamajiggy. So, tell you what, I am not even. Although Ross Chastain is coming up, I need to start a few races. So, tell you what, I'm not sure I counted it, but I'm gonna do something interesting. So I'm gonna put this here, the 1 underneath the right, and then when we get to Ross Chastain or my Ross Chastain prediction, we will see if we're going to add that 1 point for being right or not. Depends on how I count it for Ross Chastain. So, yeah, so I can say for now. Okay, so let's see who's next. One of. I have no idea who's gonna be driving this one, but it's a premium motorsports car, so very back of the pack. Yeah, so now at 51 of Cody Ware, but it's a Rick Ware racing car. I did pick Cody. I didn't think that Cody Ware was gonna drive the 51 car, but I think the 51 car was actually driven by a multitude of drivers. We're gonna take it out in a moment. What else can I say, honestly? 52. Honestly, at very back of the pack is honestly where it probably should go. But on that note, it is we need to see what the heck is. Oh, this is the NASCAR. Yeah, this is like the, this is the whatchamacallit. Who cares? Okay. Pseudo 51. I don't think Cody Ware actually made a single start this year. Interesting. Well, let's do some digging then. 51. Oh, come on. There it is. Okay, so it seems like Joey Gase, this car. I think, is this the finishing positions? Hang on, let's see. Finishes. Oh yeah, finishes. Okay, good. So if we look in 2020 specifically, 2020 the multitude of drivers, all of which we really didn't do that well. They mostly finished very back of the pack. So yeah, 51 car, despite not being driven by Cody Ware, still didn't do that good. Apparently even James Davidson had a few starts in this car, but just couldn't put it together. So, alright, so I'm going to be right on that one. Rick Ware Race number 51 car is very back of the pack. 2 of Cody Ware, but it's a Rick Ware racing car. What else can I say, honestly? 52. Now this is, oddly enough, wow. The 52 seems to go between Rick Ware Racing and some other team, but still a very back of the pack team, so goes there. Alright, 52, let's see, let's make sure we verify that one. 52. By the way, I really wish this number thingamajig on Racing Reference was in numerical order. It would make this so much easier, because when you have all these numbers just spattered about everywhere, it doesn't really help. So, whoever, if you're someone at Racing Reference watch this video, can you please put these numbers in numerical order? That would make my life so much easier. Okay. Alright, so the 52 car actually only made 4 starts this year. All for BJ one for BJ McLeod, 3 for JJ Yeley. And they did run about as good as expected. Very back of the... Actually, no, this is the very back of the pack. Actually, they ran, like, back of the pack, actually, for most of the year. Yeah, back of the pack. And my prediction was actually very back of the pack, so... it could still have been wrong. Back of the pack, yeah, so... I'm just going to give myself the wrong-ish point on this one. Oh, whoops. Oh, dang it, I messed up. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to give myself the wrong point on that one. And, but we will see if that one gets verified in a little bit. 53. I don't even know who's going to be driving this one. I guess
by multitude drivers.
You remember that as well. Now, I give solo credit to all these rare cars, but for good reasons. They're all rubbish. On that note, let's now look for the 53 car. Woo! Yay! We get to do this again. Go away. Let's see. You know, I get they actually rank these by the number of races they ran, but they really should just put it in numerical order because it's just when you rank them by how many laps led, they're all like sporadic. So it would be nice if they were numerical because then we could just scroll down the list and like, oh yeah, there it is. Our 53 car. So how did the 53 car do in 2000? Did he even make a start in 2020? It did. Oh, quite a lot of starts actually for Smithley, Balicki, all the guys, but mostly James Davidson. So I think actually it made a start in every single race this season except for Daytona. Okay, so let's look at the finishings though. Yeah, they're mostly very back of the pack, although they do jump between back of the pack and very back of the pack, but yeah, they're mostly... You know, it's between back of the pack and very back of the pack. Yeah. Yeah, it's really in between. So, like, it is really in between. So... I'm gonna give myself a right and wrong point on this one, which would be fair. Actually, hang on, no. I just realized something. The 53 car did make a start in just about every single race. So this means I can actually rank this one right away. On that note, however, do we give it? It's very both. And you know what? They did have a multitude of drivers who finished in both positions, so how about this? I'm going to give myself a right point and also a wrong point. Also, my tally is messed up. I have... Oh, yeah, so that goes into the 1. So I have 19 right and 18 wrong, so that's 1 point on the tally. Okay. Oddly enough, the 54 car on Woodward Racing is oddly enough going to be driven by J.J. Yaley. But it's usually every racing car, so if the 54 number was here, I'd put it at the very back of the pack. I don't think the 54 car even made a single start this year, and even if it did, it probably did terrible anyway, and J.J. Yaley didn't even make a start. In fact, J.J. Yaley, I think he did make a start in every single race in the Cup Series season, but it wasn't the same car. I think he went between Spire and Premium and Rick Ware, so, you know, J.J. Yaley didn't really have a home, which... makes sense. I guess if you're a low fund driver, like if you're being forced to drive for the lowest of the lowest end teams, I mean, actually, although all these teams do all have an alliance with each other, so I guess it kind of does make sense. No question about it. 62. This is for Brendan Gaughan, but you know, still a pretty garbage car, really. And he's only running the play races, so unless he does something that's insane, right back in the pack for Brendan Gaughan. Okay, so I am rating Brendan Gaughan off of the off of his starts at the plate tracks, because like he does every year, Brendan Gaughan only made starts at all 4 of the plate races, and I don't know. He also made a start at the Daytona Road Course. That's interesting. Man was a bit sporadic. I mean, he finished 7th and 8th at Daytona, the Speedway. But he finished 21st and 35th at Talladega, and then he finished 39th at Daytona Road Course. I don't know where I put this one. Again, it's sporadic. Like I said, very back of the pack, but I mean, it very back of the pack. I did on a road course, so it's very in between. It's very in between indeed, and it's so in between that I'm just gonna just say that I was right and wrong with this one. I messed up here. Please work. Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. That works too, I suppose. Nope. 18. What the? That was. Oh, okay. Google Doc, whatever. Google Docs is broken. Whatever. All right. So you have 2 potential points coming in here, but that depends on what my logic is when it comes to Ross Chastain. All right. Next one. Now number 66 for some other team. I don't even know which team this is for. But I know it's a very low end team. Come on. It's going to be very bad at the pack. So the 66 car is usually known for being driven by Timmy Hill, who, oddly enough, did one of the iRacing races, but unfortunately that doesn't count. But, all things considered, where is Timmy Hill in the standings? Come on, dude. Oh, Bailey Curry made some starts? Yeah, there's some weird things going on here. Timmy Hill. He didn't get any points. So he did drive the number 66 for just about every single race. Yeah, so I just got a notification, but anyway. So no, Timmy Hill did run every single race in the number 66 for this year. So 66 is Timmy Hill. And Timmy Hill gets an average finish of 33.2. So that means, so I did predict very back of the pack, which is likely, but yeah, more often than not, I did run below, like, in the 30s, so yeah, I did run on the very back of the pack for most weekends, so I'm right about that one. Alright, so I got 20 right and 18 wrong, so that's, but we're back into the positive numbers, that's telling. Yes, sir. Right. I like how they put the 77 here. That's going to be driven by Ross Chastain in 2 races, despite the fact, well, yeah, I guess, well, it's for Spire Motorsports. But it is Ross Chastain, and he is getting support from Chip Ganassi Racing. And Ross Chastain has proven to be a very talented driver. I see him running mid-pack in the 2 races. So we're rating Ross Chastain on the 2 races that he ran. I mean, I guess it's fair. I think what I might do is just give myself half a point on, like, the guys who only ran part-time. So let's look here. So Ross Chastain. And we're only counting his 2 starts that he made with the Ganassi power, by the way. None of the other ones matter, I'm afraid. Like, I know that Chastain did make a, oh, wait, huh? Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay, so, alright, so we're counting Las Vegas and Charlotte. Because, yeah, so yeah, of course he did make those starts for Roush, and he also made some other starts for Spire, but we're only counting the ones with the Ganassi power. So that makes Daytona and Charlotte. And remember, he finished 25th and 21st, so I was thinking mid-pack, which is correct. Although, what I think we're going to do here is that for these part-timers, is that I'm only going to give myself a half a point. So that means, so I'm going to get 21.5 points for getting those correct. And I'm going to get 19 points for getting those 2 correct. Those ones I mentioned earlier. So, alright, so I have 25.1 right. So that means I have 2.5 correct over the wrong. Yes. Yeah, so I guess if you're ranking a driver that ran every race in the season, then they get a full point right or wrong, but if they only ran part of the season, then you get half a point wrong. So, or half a point for right or wrong, Okay. That's it, right? Maybe even better than that, I can't actually put him in playoffs because he's only going to be racing in 2 races, so yeah. Alex Bowman the showman. Actually, how many drivers do I have here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh man, I have one more spot.
I'm pretty sure I put Bowman in
because of course only 16 drivers are allowed. So
which would be correct.
I guess with that being said, Alex Bowman, I guess he's gonna be the final playoff spot for this tier list anyway, because providing that Alex Bowman keeps up the momentum that he had last year, I think he's gonna win another race this year, maybe even 2, maybe 3. Now here's Christopher Bell, and that is exactly what would happen. Alex Bowman went on to win 1 race, and that was the spring race at All Club Speedway, which put him into the playoffs, which would give me a correct point. All right. I think he's gonna win another race this year, maybe even 2, maybe 3. Now here's Christopher Bell. You know, Christopher Bell is a tough cookie because he has proven to be the best Xfinity driver, best full-time Xfinity driver in recent years. Yet at the same time, he's driving for Levine Family Racing, which is getting support from Joe Gibbs Racing, but at the same time, you know, it's hard. Is Christian Bell only gonna do as good as Matt Benedetto was last year in this car, or will he be slightly better? But to be honest, I see him making the playoffs. But seeing as you know, all he has a suck cookie really. But
Come on, dude.
I guess you have to choose which one of the drivers is making the playoffs. So but at the same time, you know, I would see him making the playoffs. But
I was really stuck on
at the same
Bell.
time, I also see Christian Bell being the weakest out of all these guys. So mid-pack for Christian Bell. I'm sorry. I'd put you in the playoffs, but the playoffs only have 16 spots. So yeah. Well, we have. So it looks like that made the rightful prediction on Christopher Bell. He would not make the playoffs, but he would run pretty well. He even almost won a race. He almost won a race. He didn't really almost win a race, but he ran well at Texas, the fall Texas race. Finished 3rd. So let's look at his average finish actually. So he got an average finish this year of a 20.2, so right above mid-pack. I got a lot of good finishes. Like finished in the top 10 quite a bit actually. All right, well, I'd say mid-pack for Bell. That's correct. All right, we're getting more points now. Oh yes, and now we are now at a lock for finishing in the positive amount of points for this thingamajiggy. Posted this list filled already with a number. Alright, so mid-pack for Christian Bell. I'm sorry. I'd put you in the playoffs, but the playoffs only have 16 spots, so yeah. Well, we have most of this list filled already. So we're not coming to 96 again. This was recorded before the Daniel Suarez announcement. So of course we'll be ranking this based off of where Daniel Suarez, or we will be basing this off of where Daniel Suarez. Number 96, so or how well he did in the season. Ending off on a pretty anticlimactic note. I don't even know who's gonna be driving 96, but I know it's gonna be a very back of the pack car. So yeah. Okay, so that's actually the end of the video itself. But of course we need to check. How good did Daniel Suarez do in 2020 for Gaunt Brothers Racing? He got an average finish of a 26.6, which is the worst of his career, but then again it makes sense. I mean, we're talking for Gaunt Brothers. So he missed Daytona 500, but beyond that, he ran better than let's see, 2030s, yeah. He really ran in between, but he was slightly above mid-pack, or above the slightly back of the pack. Like, he's ran about, like, the back of the pack on most, yeah. Yeah, he's right near the back of the pack on most thingamajiggies. Although dang, I forgot not to close the video up, but I'm pretty sure I put him at the very back of the pack, which is wrong. So that's 20 points, which means there we go. Okay. All right. So after all that, the final score is 23.5 predictions correct and 20 predictions wrong, which brings the tally to 3.5. A score of 3.5 overall. So, yeah. So basically, I was 3.5% correct, which, I mean, it's slightly worse than I was expecting. But seeing as how bad I am at predicting, usually it's definitely still a respectable score. Like at least finishing the positives, compared to I think when I did my 2017 predictions response video, I got like I think it was like in the negatives. So yeah, now I've done the driver predictions though, I've gotten in the positives. So yeah, 3.5. That is the final score. Again, it is a bit worse than I was expecting, but all things considered, I was still kind of good, I guess. I mean, I got slightly more things right than I did get things wrong. But yeah. But then again, it is pretty hard to predict things, I will say. But overall, 3.5 on the tally. I'll take it.
So this is the end of the predictions. So now I'm gonna give you some final thoughts on the season as a whole. So overall, the 2020 NASCAR season, despite the ongoing events in the world, overall it was an okay season. Like it wasn't the greatest season that I've ever seen, but it wasn't the worst either. I mean, there were some moments in the year that kind of were annoying. Like, you had Kyle Larson who, did the bad and got suspended, and it got a lot of people upset. And and then you had the bit with Bubba Wallace, and you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was an event that we didn't really need to happen. But I am at least happy that Bubba Wallace got more respect for that event. Of course, there was also a lot of people that hate him after that, but I guess it was overall positive. I mean, at least Bubba Wallace got a lot of sponsorship, so yeah. So Bubba Wallace, his career is good for a while now. Yeah. As far as the racing is concerned, at least in the Cup Series, again, it was like just about every single race with the big downforce, the big spoiler. Most of those races were pretty boring. That was probably to be expected. And then you had most of the races with the small spoiler. And that was pretty much half and half. Half of the races with that were good, but the other half weren't so good. I think there was more. Well, there was more races actually that were good with that little spoiler than not. So I guess that's something. I think the only races with the small spoiler that were really bad was Dover, and that really has to do with the current car. So that was probably to be expected. Yeah. The plate races at Canley's for the season were absolutely phenomenal. Talladega and Daytona were both fantastic races. Although the fall Talladega race, unfortunately, the finish of that race was just a clown show because you had all the officials trying to understand who went below the yellow line. The yellow line rule is just so stupid, and don't get me wrong. Again, that fall Talladega race was great, but it's just a shame that the NASCAR officials had to come in with the finish and just mess it all up. So abolish the yellow line rule. I'm on that side. Yeah. And Kevin Harvick, he really should be the champion of the season, and if we lived in the perfect world, he would have been the champion of the season. I honestly did not expect Kevin Harvick to do so good this season. Like, winning 9 races, I thought for a bit that he was going to get a 10th win and be the first driver in a little while to get double-digit amount of wins in a Cup Series season. Although my pick to win the championship was Denny Hamlin, and I mean he still finished second in the actual championship standings, so that's pretty good. Although what's interesting about that is that you have Kevin Harvick, the most deserving champion of the year. He doesn't have a shot to win the championship. Then you have Denny Hamlin, who is the second most deserving driver of the championship. He does make it into the Final Four, but just can't get it right in Phoenix. And then but then the third most deserving driver of the championship does win it. It is Chase Elliott. You know, the thing about Chase Elliott winning the championship, though, I mean, yeah, it's cool, and the victory celebration was pretty wholesome with Jimmy Johnson and everyone. That was quite cool, but the thing is that it doesn't really feel right. Like, yeah, Chase Elliott is a champion, but I'm not really gonna jump on. I'm not gonna jump on and say, "Oh, Chase Elliott, he won the championship in 2020. Therefore, he's a good driver." Because that's just, I mean, no, Chase Elliott, he is a good driver. But I'm sorry, but I don't consider it just. And it went by so fast too, because only a few years ago we were questioning if Chase Elliott should even be in the Cup Series, and now only 5 years into his Cup career, his full Cup career, he wins the title, and it's in a season where we didn't even see him having a chance to win the title, and it just doesn't feel special, honestly. Like, again, the victory celebration was wholesome, but other than that, I just don't feel any sort of excitement from Chase Elliott winning the championship. Like, sure, it's cool, but I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna be one to jump up and down at Chase Elliott becoming the 2020 champion. And keep in mind, this is coming from someone who is a fan of Chase Elliott. I am a Chase fan. Chase is my second favorite driver behind Kyle Busch, and yet I'm just gonna straight up say I don't feel much accomplishment or much celebration from Chase Elliott winning the championship this year. I will feel that when Chase Elliott gets a real championship and he finishes the first on the actual point standings, but yeah. And honestly, last weekend at Phoenix, we really saw how much of a farce this championship format is. I mean, you had the finish to the truck race was just utter insanity. Like, I can't believe that we have the final restart is what is going to determine the champion, the full season champion. Like, that is ridiculous. And the same thing in Xfinity. While it wasn't as bad, I mean, Chase Briscoe didn't really have a chance to win the championship after he spun around. And according to Racing Reference, Austin Cindric is still actually the deserving champion, even in full season points format. I'm going to do some science on that and to find out for sure, because I thought for sure that Chase Briscoe would be the 2020 Xfinity Series champion on a just because of how good he was. You know, like I'm not one to say, oh, wins mean more. Like, you know, like you could win no races and still be a champion, as opposed to a guy winning 10 races and they could come home second or third or something in the standings. Like I'm not one to say, oh, he got more wins, therefore he deserved it more. No, I'm not that type of guy. I'm an old school person when it comes to that. Like, I feel like the champion should be who was the most consistent driver throughout the season, and I guess also Cindric happened to be the most consistent driver throughout the season. I don't really know. And I don't know. Just this whole championship weekend honestly just felt, like I was never invested into it. Like, even in the Cup Series, I had such low interest, and yeah, I kind of gonna have a bit of a break from NASCAR until February. I'm going on a long winter to do things that don't really have anything to do with NASCAR. So I mean, that's a nice thing. That's a nice bonus, I guess. Plus, the Formula One season isn't over yet. We still have 4 races going the F1 season. I'm gonna make sure I watch all those races. Lewis Hamilton will win the title, but it's F1, so you can't say no. Yeah. I will say this, though. I have to hand it to NASCAR for being able to put on a full season despite the circumstances. Because, of course, back when lockdown happened, you know, we were kind of clueless. It was like, what was going to happen with the NASCAR season? And NASCAR themselves, you know, even said, oh, despite the circumstances, we're going to have we're going to have all 36 races in the Cup Series and every single race in the Xfinity and Truck Series. And I was wondering how they were going to do it, and they didn't. I gotta give it to NASCAR. Before the playoffs hit, they got back on schedule with all the races. So and even then, with all the other circumstances, I have to congratulate NASCAR for at least being able to put on a season. I mean, yeah, while the season wasn't the best, I have to give it to NASCAR for at least having a season in the first place. So just going back to the championship weekend, and you know, I already said it, but you know, Chase Elliott winning the championship, it doesn't really feel celebratory, but at least it wasn't Joey Logano. Well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this very long video. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to upload the full thing or split up into multiple parts. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.